Well, in the last video, I told you that I was comparing my learning about God to the nourishment that a caterpillar gets to um, gain energy to transform. And I was really just kind of breezing through childhood, but I was getting a little bit of nourishment here and there from some vacation Bible schools and everything, and playing Sunday school with my sisters. But uh, it wasn't until I was about 12 years old that I started thinking there has to be more to life than just waking up and going to school and doing homework and playing games and watching TV, which was my life at that time. And I became dissatisfied. I realized that I had a hard time obeying my parents. I didn't really like the person I was becoming that much because from times I would feel really bad that I was cutting down my friends. And we moved to a new place. We moved to a big city from a small town, and I was finding it hard to fit in. It seemed like the thing to do to be popular was to be just a real snippety thing to put down those who were under you, less than you, make people feel like they were less than you. And I was getting pretty good at that. Um, and I just felt very dissatisfied with my life. And I started to look around at the people who were close to me and to see if there was anyone who really looked happy, who seemed to be happy. I looked at my friends and my parents and my siblings, and the only one that really seemed to be have a contentment that I envied was my older sister. And she seemed to have an easier time obeying our parents. She wasn't perfect, but she was a really great big sister. And so one day I went to her and I asked, "How come you're so good all the time? How can I be as good as you are?" And she kind of laughed at that. But she didn't know how to tell me that she had Jesus in her life helping her, and that he gave her great joy. She didn't know the words to say. She didn't know really how it had happened that much, and she definitely didn't know how to share it. All she knew is that it happened through church activities. And so she says to me, "We need to go to church." She had a faith that people at church would explain this thing to me that had happened to her. And so we told our parents we wanted to go to church. And so they suggested that we go to this church that we could get to on the bus line. We lived real close to a bus stop, and that we could get to on the bus line, and they would take us occasionally. They had no interest in going at that time in their lives, and so we started doing that. We got on the bus, and we would um, go to this church to Sunday school. Sometimes we stayed for the church service, but it was way over my head. And we joined a choir, and we just started getting involved in this church. And I loved the Sunday school. And the Sunday school class that I went to, they were talking about all these familiar Bible stories that I knew. And I raised my hand all the time. I knew the answers to the questions because I knew these stories. So then we decided, well, we would join. And they told us if to join, we had to go to a membership class where we would learn more about the doctrine of the church. And so we started doing that. And it was there that these questions started popping up because for the first time, I heard that these people wanted me to believe that God cared personally about me and wanted to be involved in my life. And I just wasn't sure that I was prepared to believe that. But God has said in his word in Jeremiah 29:13, and you will seek me and find me, and when you search for me with all your heart. And so at that point, I really began searching with all my heart to know, is this true? Is there really a God who loves me personally and wants to be involved in my life?